So, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming or listening. We are reading the Living Spring, chapter 13. So let's open with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your divine love and grace. We thank you for all of those who are here, the invisible and physical levels. We ask that you bless our heart and our minds for the lesson ahead as we open. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see this lesson. Oops. So it's 13. All right. So who wants to read?
Do you have it? Are you doing
I
it,
don't
Cheryl?
have it.
I don't either.
You guys don't see it?
No,
Oh, okay, well, let me go back. All right. How about if I share the screen?
that would help.
Um,
Desktop whiteboard.
okay, wait, I see something else that's going on here. Okay. Here.
Should she just hit share, Mark? Or,
Yeah,
I-
I'm pulling it up.
oh, okay.
It seems to me I'm doing something not right.
Do you have a window open with chapter 13 showing?
I do, but maybe should I stop and start over
Stop what?
the recording?
No. Just
Okay.
if you click on share screen, what happens?
I have too many things open, it looks like.
Too many, or you can't see the one with
I
chapter
can't
13?
see the one that I want.
Okay,
so
then maybe you do have too many things.
Yeah. Okay, now let me see. Okay. Let me go back here. And let me see. There it is.
There you go.
All
got
right.
Hey,
All right.
okay, I'll start. Then Mark, you can pick it up if you want.
Okay.
Number 13, let us set out. I will rise and return to my father. Luke chapter 15, verse 18, or 15 through 18. When the prodigal son decided to return to his father's arms, he actually decided to rise inwardly, to leave the dark cave of idleness and head for the field of regenerative action, to get up off the cold ground of inertia and seek the heat of reconstructive activity. To leave the valley,
Oops, sorry.
that's okay. Is that all there is? Then Mark, you can
No,
take-
there's more.
to leave the valley of indecision and climb the mountain of spiritually constructive toil, to escape the darkness and enter the light, to leave his negative behavior behind and plunge into the reconstruction of his ideals.
He stood up and left for the paternal home. However, prodigal sons and daughters of life, such as we are, how many of us, after having failed at the most valuable opportunities, clamor for the Lord to help us in accordance with our unworthy desires, so that we can be content and happy? How many of us have willingly descended into the abyss, and once in it, drowning in the dark current of our passions, beg for the presence of the Almighty through his messengers, so that they may attend to our whims? But if we are really committed to self-improvement, to our self-improvement, let us stand on our own 2 feet and press forward. Any improvement requires effort. The view at the top requires climbing the mountain first. If we aspire to a higher life, let us go forward following Jesus' standards. I will rise, said the young man in the parable. Yes, let us rise.
Wow. Sounds like life to me.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, we go to this dark place when things are happening to us, and sometimes it takes us weeks to come out of it. And during this time, we are thinking about God, especially where we are now in our lives and how much spiritual information we have acquired. It seems like we do pray and we're asking for guidance and help out of this, let's say the dark cave. And so that we could feel better, and to carry on with our lives. And I think that the things that happen to us physically, with our health and with our family, is, to me, that's the dark cave. If it was about us, using us as an analogy, I saw all along with Jesus going through his process. At least that's what I'm seeing here. It's twofold.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. The prodigal son returning and then deciding to shift because going through all the pleasures or all his whims or all his desires didn't bring him happiness. So he went home to his father, went home I've had opportunities that I have blown and I can beat myself up for, just didn't know any better, And when you know better, you do better. So a lot of times you have to reconstruct what's important and who you are, the reconstruction of his ideals. Yeah, it is life.
Yeah. And you, Mark, what do you think?
Well, every person's situation is different, and the prodigal son, every one of those two statements applies to him, and for the rest of us, some of those apply to us.
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily all of them. But that's not the point. The point is there's room for improvement.
True.
And the middle part of this is this paragraph, how many of us, how many of us. And I think as spiritists, we may have learned a thing or three, and that our materialistic desires are nowhere near what they were before spiritism.
Yeah.
Our desires are now generally very worthy in terms of what we desire to do with ourselves and with our contributions to everyone else. Again, if we are spiritists, have we really descended into the abyss? Now, if you go to the last part of this, if we are really committed to our self-improvement, I think that's the best part about spiritism, is that that's what it's all about, is continuous self-improvement.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. And it's going to take us a long time to even begin to see what perfection is.
I agree. And Valerie, how you were saying that you had, if only you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's a level of growth there also, because we're supposed to get past beating ourselves up or feeling regret for what coulda, woulda, or shoulda.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's a huge, huge, huge growth period right there.
You know, had I known, I'd have bought an Apple or Google,
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
and I would never have found Spiritism.
Or Amazon. Well, yeah, but you never know what.
I don't know about that, but
Well, who knows?
I don't know what.
Who knows? Who
if
knows?
it's meant to be, it will be.
Man.
So,
That's it.
yeah, because we, you'd be surprised how much our regrets have actually taught us. And it's not so much that laying into the regret, but that how it sits in the heart and is sitting there like a dead weight.
Right.
Yes,
What's it
yeah.
doing to you? Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That was the therapeutic aspect of the book Forgiveness that we did the study on.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's the relief of now understanding all that. You know, no more rancor, no more guilt. No more rancor, no more guilt. Period.
Mhm. Yeah, rancor. Mm.
Well, the guilt thing. How can I feel guilt for something that I didn't understand, didn't know?
Right.
You know, which is exactly what Valerie was saying. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And also the beauty, I think, of learning about Spiritism is it helps you understand the different levels, and it helps you understand what's going on in life. It makes
Yep.
it a lot more easier to accept the mistakes, to accept people who have burned you in your life. Whatever, it just helps so much. Even when I look at my sons, especially the one with the mental illness, I mean, that to me was my driving force. Why? Why is he like this? What's happening? I mean, at the age of 5 or 4, whatever, flicking the lights on and off, I'm like, stop doing that. And, each time he do it, he had to do it again. Everything he had to touch twice. I'm like, what is that? And you don't know what it is, but you keep asking what, why? And
Yeah.
so, and then finally you get your answer through reading and being consistent with trying to find an answer that makes sense.
Yes.
Because no psychic that I've ever heard talked about reparation or reincarnation
Mhm.
or your past life issue, none of that. Or
Mhm.
no one has ever said it's expiating your past. Nothing. So, which pushed me more towards finding more answers, continuously reading and being present. But I'm very grateful, very, very grateful for the push. Really. am.
That must have been intense.
Oh, it was intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very intense because you don't know what it is. And I'm just, and I think about all the other mothers that have gone through this, or families,
Right.
and not know, even those with the Down syndrome. I mean, come on, what is that?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And on and on. But learning about it to me is paramount. I'm really, really happy to learn that Spiritism answers so many questions that I did not get from listening to psychics.
Right. I was lucky, fortunate to work with a woman who was clairaudient and clairvoyant, and who could talk to the Akashic records, which is like the all-knowing, the library of the universe where all things exist.
Right.
And so she could actually say, well, the keeper of the Akashic record comes to answer your question and about, a past life or this, and only information that was relevant was offered. You know what I mean? For your own growth. It wasn't to make one to aggrandize yourself. You know what I'm saying? It was about you're working on this thing at this point in time, and that information was relevant. So, but yes, no, that most psychics don't have the overview or the arc or the ability to really, to go into that.
Yeah, I had a lot of them, you know, look into the Akashic records, but they couldn't, that information still wasn't allowed.
I see.
Yeah,
See.
so, and I believe it had to do with me moving forward, you know, finding my path. That,
I see.
yeah, because that had they said what I know, it may not have been a good push
I see.
to be more motivated to find my
keep-
own answers.
I see.
So, and that, I think that's the possibility of what really went on, because there's a lot of them that could read the psychic, I mean, the Akashic, record,
Mm-hmm.
but that information wasn't allowed.
Well, that's very true. So it'll only be allowed out when it's necessary or when it's the right time. You know,
Yeah.
to know. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it? It was in No Solar. They talked about people being able to look at their past, but only with enough knowledge, because if they saw all the things they'd done in all their lives, they would be so horrified all at once that they had to go through it kind of little by little to see their growth.
Yeah.
I think that was in No Solar.
It is. It is.
Yeah, yeah, thought it was very, very wise, you know.
'Cause, yeah, even now in present time, if we were to see it, we would get stuck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, even now, you know, so I'm okay with it, because if I make it with the heart that I have now and I make a little mistake or hurt someone or offend someone, it's hard to get over. So I certainly don't want to see what I did, not in this dense body, and not being able to move out of it easy.
I
No,
see.
I'm okay with not knowing.
Just don't go do it again, that's all.
Hi, Sheila, welcome.
I'm trying to unmute. Hi.
Hi.
So this is what we're reading about the prodigal son, but but is also relative to our lives in present time. So I put it, can you see it?
She's muted.
She's muted again. Yeah. Anyway, I put it up for you to try
Yeah,
to.
I see it. Let us set out, right?
Uh-huh. Let me.
Okay.
Are you done with this? I can move to the next page.
Go ahead.
So we looked at this, and I saw a lot of this here as being in present time, actually in my own life. Drowning in darkness, you know, at one point. But I thought, you know, like going through that situation with my son in the early days was like drowning in darkness. I had no one to ask what the heck is going on. Doctors didn't know, so they just give you their medical opinion. They have no idea. You know, and I think back then the answer was Ritalin. You know, they just give all kids Ritalin.
Yeah, my sister was on Ritalin.
Try to calm them down and see.
Calm down. She couldn't calm down. No.
Right.
Ring.
Yeah, Ritalin is a form.
One more time.
I said, I think Ritalin was a form of speed, you know, an amphetamine. So I guess if kids were overactive, it would make them sit. So
Yeah, because they said even a cup of coffee would help them
yeah,
back then.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was okay to give them coffee. Yeah, so none of that worked though. It wasn't meant to work. Yes.
right.
And the medicine, there was another medicine they gave him. And he said he couldn't stand it because it felt like his head was tight, you know. I
Mm.
guess like pressing in on him or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. So it was hard to get him to take it. It helped him calm down, but it just,
Hmm.
and you can't make him, you know, he would pretend he'd take it and leave it in his mouth and go to school and spit it out, so.
Next page.
Hmm?
Next page.
Oh, are you caught up, Sheila?
No, she just got it.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it. It's okay.
Read Almighty through his messengers.
Mhm. Yeah, so. Anybody else have anything else? So do you see the relativeness in climbing through life? Sheila?
Regina, I got my mouth closed. I'm doing this. 'Cause I've got low blood sugar.
Hmm.
Yeah, because in the previous sentence, you got any improvement requires effort.
Yep.
So in a sense, when you have to exude effort, you are like climbing a mountain because you're taking steps that you might be reluctant to take.
Yeah.
And then over time, those steps get easier depending on the situation.
Mhm. Right, right. Wow.
It's all about your comfort zone with change.
Yeah. What was I was reading something about if you want to see yourself in a different light, or if you want to do better, you have to change.
So simple.
I mean, really it is. I mean,
You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
isn't that the definition of insanity?
That's it.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Keep hitting that wall the same way. It's gonna, nice hole you put in the wall there.
yeah, so, but anyway, yeah, so we was just looking at different parts of our lives that helped us forge through, and it was like climbing a mountain. But you know, like they're saying, keep going, and little by slow you make it, just like you were saying. So what's that, Mark?
Lost in thought.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's it.
Ah,
Short and sweet.
Hmm.
Very short. So who want to do the close? I did the opening.
Oh, let's see.
I'll be glad to.
Thank you.
God, we thank you for this opportunity to again expand and deepen our consciousness. Thank you for the spirits that guide this group and each of us individually. And we thank you, spirits who joined us tonight to learn alongside of us. And we humbly request permission to close tonight's session. And so be it.
And so it is.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.